Hello everybody, it's Lauren here.
And Kyle.
And we are the coaches at Team Cosmic Bodies. And today we are going to be talking about a mini cut. And currently I just started mine. I am 3 days into my mini cut. And today we're just going to be talking about, why I am specifically doing one. And why maybe you should incorporate one?
Well, I think initially we've done mini cuts in the past, so some of this might be like similar information, some of it might be new, right? We change things all the time as well as we get more advanced and more specific for her. So, but I think she posted something on Instagram and people were asking questions, so I think that's kind of where this idea of doing it again and kind of sharing those details. So what were like the main questions people had?
Yeah, so the main question someone had was, why I am doing this in the middle of my off season, in my improvement season. Am I going to lose muscle during this time? So why I'm doing this? I am personally doing this because I'm going to compete this year, you guys. I'm going to compete in 2020. I'm thinking towards the end of 2020. I definitely want to compete probably in August or maybe beforehand. So to do that, I need to make sure I have a really good starting position for my contest prep. So say right now, I just stuck where I'm at. I'm going to be open right now. I weigh 140 pounds. So say if I just continued what I was doing, hey, I might get up to, pushing it maybe towards 150 before I started my contest prep. And I don't want to have to lose 30 pounds to get to the stage. I want to have a really good starting position. So that's why I am doing this mini cut, to kind of pull things back. And so I don't have a big fat loss to do before I start my prep. Do you want to add on that?
Onto that, but remind me, because when you started talking, I wanted to then talk about what kind of made you a good candidate to do a mini cut, because a lot of times you might need an actual cut, or you're just not a candidate for mini cut. It's an advanced tool, especially the way we're doing it. But there are some variables that we put in place or had in place, we waited and she got her period back, but we'll get into that of why she was able to do this mini cut in the first place to make that decision to do it, right? How many months post show and all that, but we'll get into that. As far as what she just said, yeah, I agree. It's a procrastination thing. It's a starting point position. You never, as a physique athlete, especially the more advanced you get, she's a professional IFBB bikini. And we have some pretty big goals and we want to optimize things within her physique. So it is one of those things where you don't want to get too heavy. You don't want to put on too much body fat, because then you have to take it off for the next prep. So that might be a longer prep next time. It might be, you might lose more muscle because you have to, diet for longer. So I think that is a big part of it, just having a really good starting position where you are just 15, 20 pounds above stage weight. Or 12, 15, depends on how you handle being lean, but you definitely don't want to be 30, 40 pounds above stage weight and expect to do an 18, 20 something week prep. You might need longer.
And this time around, because previously, if you guys followed my channel, I did one in 2018. I did a mini cut. It was actually 9 weeks. It was pretty long. I lost 12 pounds during that mini cut. This time around is going to be different. I'm going to be way, way more aggressive with it. I'm trying to only be in this mini cut for 4 weeks. Maybe lose 5, 7, maybe pounds. But seriously, I'm going to be in and out of this. We're not incorporating refeeds. We are just, my calories are at 1,500 right now. I need 115 grams of carbs. It's very, very aggressive because I want to get back to growing. I want to be in and out fairly quickly. When it's that quick, you're not going to lose muscle because it's so fast. You're just going to be losing body fat. So that's why I want to get in and get out really fast, and so I can get back to growing. And I personally love the way I feel after a mini cut because I don't know, like last time I did it, I just felt like I put on a ton of muscle afterwards because you increase your carbohydrates and you feel stronger in the gym too. You're insulin sensitive again to carbs. And it's kind of like that time after a contest prep where, you know, you get back in the gym and you just like feel like a beast in there, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, those are really, really good points. Is we're being more aggressive this time, so it might just be 4 weeks and then a week at kind of maintenance where you get more of those refeeds, and then from there we'll start tapering fat and carbs up as well. And it does help with insulin sensitivity. You'll lose 5, she's 140, she's gonna lose 5 pounds, be 15 pounds above stage weight, these are give or take. Mm-hmm. And then it just gives us more wiggle room to then gain back. So instead of just going to 145, because to put on muscle, you need to be in a calorie surplus, you want to be in a calorie surplus, you want to be training hard, and again, you don't want to put on too much body fat. So doing this aggressive mini cut for 4 weeks, clean things up, get more insulin sensitive, and also just, clean things up where you have that wiggle room where then you can gain back 5 pounds slowly over time, and then put on muscle. And that was one question, was, is she gonna lose muscle during this time? And I honestly think at her body fat percentage, she won't lose much muscle, and she probably will lose a little bit, right? You lose glycogen, you lose water, and then you start losing fat. And she probably will lose a little bit of muscle, but she'll just gain that muscle back fairly quick, just like her breast augmentation. She got back in training 2, 3, 4 weeks later, you gain all your muscle back that you might have lost. These are ounces we're talking about. So within this mini cut, she'll gain back her fullness and size of her muscle, and it might just look different though. Like it might be that illusion of like, oh my God, is she putting on muscle? Because she will just have leaner, so that illusion of like her cap delts and stuff like that. So again, insulin sensitivity, having that wiggle room to then be in a calorie surplus and put on weight again. And the last part, what was the last part that I said?
I forget. But, and then, I'm just reassuring you guys, I am, I'm 5 months, almost like probably six months post show.
That's 5 months.
Yeah, so this is a good time
about as soon as we could do it.
This is as soon as we can do it.
Yeah.
If you are, like, how about now we talk about you and if you should incorporate a mini cut. So personally, I can talk about one of my clients I recently just had. We did a mini cut because she was probably 40-ish pounds above her stage weight. And so we like to call it the prep before the prep. So, the prep before the actual prep happens. So we lost during and it was actually not a mini cut. It was actually a big cut. It was 12 weeks, but in the end, she ended up losing 15 to I think 20 pounds. So we did a lot of the work beforehand. So we didn't have to do a huge long contest prep where she had to lose 40 pounds to get to the stage. So maybe if you are someone that's carrying a little bit more body fat, maybe you are 40 or I don't know, sometimes it could be like 50 pounds above your stage weight, a prep before the prep is actually a really good idea to do. So then when your actual prep starts, maybe you only have to lose 15 or 20 pounds to get to the stage. So
and there is some things you need to be said about that situation, which is after you do this mini cut, let's say you're 40 pounds above stage weight, estimated, you have to keep it off, right?
Yes.
So if you're someone who like loses weight and then gains it back, well, this sport's just not gonna be for you. Like it's just not gonna work out. Like you have to be able to like do the cut, keep it off, keep meal planning and counting your macros and reversing, get the calories back up, get your adherence and decision fatigue away so you can then keep doing it, right? It's hard on the mind, it's hard on the body. So you do this 12-week cut, lose 15, 20 pounds, you might gain a couple pounds back, but you reverse diet and get the calories back up and get rid of any adaptations you might have, occurred, which only takes a couple weeks. But I do think a lot of it is just being able to keep it off and not gaining. I mean, if you lose 15, 20 pounds and you gain 10, 15 back and then start prep then, it just there was no point to do the mini cut. You might as well just maintain the whole time. So when you do this mini cut or a cut or a prep before the prep, you just have to keep it off.
These
that's why it's advanced.
These are so successful. I mean, I've had many clients, another one actually too. We took off 20 pounds. We started reverse dieting. Now her carbs are at 300 grams and she kept all of the fat off. She's actually lower than when we ended her mini cut. She's actually 5 pounds lower than when we ended. And her calories are up high. We're at barely any cardio and she's making PRs in the gym. So now when we start our prep, I think we only have 10 pounds to lose or maybe 15. She is in such a good starting position.
Very consistent. Very consistent.
Yeah.
During the last holidays, she's on it. She lives the lifestyle. So that's something to be note here with these advanced tools and just keeping the recomp going where you're always improving season to season. Cut, fat loss, even short or long, you're just improving. So, right, how you handle post-show, how you handle post-cut, all these things add up. Sometimes I just see this where it's people are just on it during their cut, and that's not how it works, and that's not how you become a pro and use these advanced tools we're talking about.
Yeah, and also when to not do one. So if you are post-show and say you had a bad post-show experience, you weren't on it, you maybe, just stock counted macros or went off your meal plan or whatever after your show and you gained back 15 pounds, 20 pounds, and you're oh no, what happened? I hate the way I look, and you're a month or two post-show. I would not do a mini cut. I would not cut. I would just, if I were you, I would try and hold steady where you're at and, get back on your macros and get back on your diet, because just getting back on that, you can clean things up a little bit. You can look a little bit tighter in your physique.
Yeah, redistribute.
You can redistribute. If it all went in one area, it will redistribute for sure. But I would literally just focus on that training, and I would focus on getting stronger, putting on muscle in there, and then I would think about maybe doing a cut. Literally, I would wait. Wait.
Minimum 4 months, in my opinion. If you do a long contest prep and you effed up post show. Also, you got to look at variables if you are female or male. Getting blood work. Do you have your menstrual cycle back? That type of things. You not necessarily want to go back and do an aggressive deficit if you're trying to get these things normalized as well, because that could slow that recovery process down from the previous cut, if that makes sense. So in between 4 months, but if you never have to do a mini cut, it's really quite an amazing thing, and I think that is most beneficial for most beginners and intermediates, is to not have to do the mini cut. As you get more advanced, I think people are just really good at being really aggressive for 3 to 4 weeks or 6 weeks at most, and they just already are pretty lean, so they just lose 5-10 pounds or whatever, and then they don't get metabolic adaptations because the cut was just so short that they can just go back to maintenance calories after and just get on with their
Yeah, we with our clients here, some of them come to us and they go, I want to do a mini cut. Please, can I cut? And we are just so open and honest. Sometimes I'm no. Look at the improvements you have been making. Look how strong you have gotten in the gym. So, Kyle and I, we just both have this gut feeling of when someone should incorporate one and when someone shouldn't. So that's definitely something that you really have to talk about, with your coach and everything, because they only are for some people and some
And just-
individuals, like beginners. Like I had a beginner, she wants to do a mini cut. I am like, no, look at, I mean, it's just crazy how much her hip thrust has gone up, and like she's growing like a weed right now. So why going back in a deficit?
Yeah, for sure. And it's just it's interesting to see people who they want to do a mini cut so bad, they want to cut so bad, and you just have them not do it. They make a ton of progress, and then all of a sudden you say, okay, it's time to do that cut. And then they just like don't even have the adherence anyway when they actually start the cut, and then they just like quit, or they just like don't lose because their adherence isn't there. And so it's just like kind of like not funny, it's just kind of sad, but at times I'm just like, well, good thing we didn't cut months ago. At least you like had a little bit of a time where you didn't cut, because it ends up being just this yo-yo thing where you like cut for 2 weeks, you F it up during the holidays, you know, you cut for again after the holidays, and you F it up for Valentine's Day or whatever. There's always another holiday, but so just going back to that, everything adds up, and you know, that's why it's better just to kind of eat at maintenance sometimes, let things redistribute. It's slower, but it might be better mentally and for your adherence to be able to just like eat more and fuel yourself where you're not starving, but you're not necessarily overindulging, and you're just kind of holding in the pocket where your weight might go up a little bit or go down a little bit, but sometimes those maintenance phases are just better for you at the moment.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. You know, I definitely consider myself advanced with the dieting and everything. So this time around, it's a 4-week. It's very aggressive. Like I said, like we're not going to be incorporating.
We might do a few refeeds.
Maybe a little bit, but like I got this down now. Like I got the dieting thing down now to a T. So we're gonna get in, get out. Obviously gonna show you guys the process of me, you know, losing body fat and everything. So if you do have any questions about the mini cut or about it, you know, the mini cut and stuff that we did not answer, just comment down below, and Kyle and I are definitely gonna do another video together, and we will for sure answer you.
So yeah, if you like this video, comment, like it, share it, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yep, bye.